question you guys' mouths after this one, obviously? Just what do you feel like the emotions are right now?
Yeah, for sure. I think just after last week, we wanted to come in this week and have a great week of focus, get back to the basics, be great on the fundamental side of the ball, and then just come out here and perform and be pretty sharp. We wanted to complete passes, run the ball well, and we came out doing that in the first half. And when you were able to run the ball like we were able to run the ball, it opens up the passing game, and then, usually when you're able to run the ball and throw it, you have a good night.
I know you're relatively new to this program, but getting Cam McCormick a touchdown, giving him wearing Spencer's jersey, it sounds like Kenny was really trying to get that done if he could. What was it like trying to create that moment for him and then seeing it happen?
Well, that was a very special moment. I didn't even realize it really until it happened. I knew he was wearing his jersey, and then just as the game flows, you're like, yeah, this is the play, and then like when it happens, you're like, wow, he just scored. And I heard that was his first one in a while, so I'm just excited for Cam. Obviously, he's had an extremely tough road. Not many people have had the same kind of road and had to battle through adversity like he has, and he's just a great teammate, fun to be around. Obviously, he's extremely positive. He's an older guy, kind of like me. I'm not as old, but he's just good to talk to. He's been around a lot, knows a lot about Oregon, knows a lot about routine and stuff, and so he's a great guy to have in our locker room.
Yeah, he scored last word in 2017. What were you doing in 2017?
I was a junior in high school.
What do you make of just your receivers, your tight ends, running backs, their ability after the catch to make big plays? I think 3 or 4 of your touchdown passes were guys fighting through tackles.
Yeah, it's huge. It makes my job really easy. We have a great group of guys, great group of skill players, and a lot of them are young. They're really getting their first taste of playing a lot, starting, playing a lot of ball. And I'm just excited for those guys. Obviously, like I said, they make my job easy, but it's fun to play with those guys. And as an offense, it puts Coach Dillingham in a great situation because he's able to call a lot of things and know that every once in a while we can bail the play out. And if it's necessarily not there, we can get more than what might have been there. But it's exciting, and I think it's just going to continue to get better and better.
So with respect to Eastern Washington, how much can you take from this game, and what do you really learn about yourself from this game?
Well, you can take a lot. First, you can see how we responded from last week. Obviously, last week was not how anybody wanted it to go, but we can learn from it and grow from it. And that's what we did this week. We didn't let Georgia beat us twice, and that's what our coaches, Coach Lanning, really kind of drove that into us this week. And he was like, we don't want to let Georgia beat us twice because that's when your season starts to not look like you want it. And we got back on track tonight with a really good win. They're a really good team. They've had great success in the past. I just feel like as a unit, as a whole, we just played well. And the good thing is, the bright side is we have a lot to improve on still. And so knowing we played well, but knowing there's still room for improvement, that's what probably is the most exciting thing.
Kind of bouncing off of that, what did you feel felt more comfortable in the offense? What kind of got you really into that group tonight?
Well, I think the game plan was really good. We were focused on some simpler things, just to kind of get the ball in our guys' hands and let them kind of do the work after that. And like I said, when you're able to run the ball like we were able to in the first half, it helped move the field, get first downs, and you're not just stagnant having to throw the ball a lot. And then we did really well on third downs. Obviously, I believe we scored on our first 10 possessions, and that was one of our goals. Kind of jokingly, we kind of joked about scoring on the first 10, and we went out there and did that. And obviously, it was exciting to be out there.
Well, how is Kenny's version of the H&H different than Gus's? Because Gus, I know you had Schenker and you had Canelo a little bit as freshman, but ultimately his biggest knock on him was he never used tight ends. They never in the passing game. Frankly, they're more with you than anyone in his whole career. Here tonight, you're throwing to tight ends like crazy. So what is it about Kenny's version that 12 personnel and throwing to these guys is just a lot more involved?
Well, obviously, those guys, I guess the tight end room had 3 tonight, and so it's just all about spreading the wealth. And just to those guys' credit, you get T. Ferg the ball and he makes guys miss and goes and scores. That's on him. That's all him doing that, being a special player. And so when you got guys that do that, you might as well get them the ball, right? And so it just makes your offense kind of easier. It makes it run when the guys do that after the catch.
How have you handled the last week plus? Because people can say, oh, you're a fourth-year starter, so you're used to criticism and growing up how you did. Surely you have to be used to it. But you're still 21 or 22. And you're human.
Yeah.
You know what's being said out there. You know everything from the Georgia side. You know about performances. I'm sure you, your wife, again, family, people hearing those. How have you handled between the criticism of performance, questions about whether Ty should be playing? How have you handled it?
That's a good question. And quite frankly, you know, I have been through that a lot. I've been through that situation a lot. It happens. It's football. You're going to lose games. You're going to not perform as well as you'd like. But at the end of the day, you know, you can't listen to the outside noise. Obviously, my hope's in Jesus Christ, so it doesn't really matter to begin with. And I know that I have peace from Him, and it just makes life a lot easier knowing that football is a small part of life. You know, we're here just to inspire people and to be a salt and light on the earth, and so that's what I'm here to do. That's what I'm around this team to do. And you know, they need to see how I responded to that. Like, I can't just go down in the dumps and be woe is me and just kind of just kind of quit. Can't do that. So it's just getting back to work, focusing up, and try not to let it happen again.
Talking a little along those same lines, 70 points on offense. The defense, I think, had less than 100 yards allowed through 3 quarters. Just mentally, how confidence-wise, how big was this? It doesn't matter who you play, just to have.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge confidence-wise. It makes your team feel better. Going into next week, a win like this, you know, practice feels better. And there's nothing worse than a week after a loss. You know, it feels like so long you just want to play again. And now this week's going to go by quick, and you're going to have a hard time enjoying the win, which is sometimes unfortunate because all wins should be kind of celebrated. But you know, we just got to bounce back, continue to week by week grow and be better. You had a question?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Can you talk about the performance of the running back room? You know, it was really a whole committee past 2 games.
Absolutely.
Can you just talk about like what made him so successful today?
Well, like you said, it's running back by committee. All those guys, it's funny, they're very similar but very different at the same time. Each one of those guys could start. Each one of those guys could play a lot. There's a lot of unselfishness going on right now in the running back room, and I commend those guys for it. Coach Locke does a great job of preparing them, and I think that as we move on, we're going to need all of them. I mean, all of them are going to have to show up and play and be big for us. T-Fer, you got a question?
How about those tight ends tonight?
Yeah, well, you weren't here when I got to answer that question earlier, but I just said tight ends were huge for us, and it's important to get those guys the ball.
Thanks, Bo.
Thank you. I appreciate it.